Prices, high mortgage rates, and low inventory may be turning away potential home buyers. Sales of existing homes slowed in July, according to the National Association of Realtors. But it's not all bad news. Jen Sullivan explains why potential buyers may be in a better position to find a deal this fall and winter.
High prices and high mortgage rates are slowing home sales. The median home sale price last month was just over $434,000, according to the National Association of Realtors, and those numbers just keep going up.
Rising rates are not helping, so it's holding back some buyer activity.
Lawrence Yoon with the NAR says the war with Iran is driving up mortgage rates. That's because when oil prices rise, investors worry about inflation, and the bond market looks at all those financial pressures to determine rates. As of last week, the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was 6.69%, according to Freddie Mac. The week of February 26th, the average was 5.98%. And that was right before U.S. and Israeli forces launched strikes on Iran.
If somehow there's a resolution on the Persian Gulf oil tanker shipment, oil prices do come down, then expect lower inflationary pressure, and the Federal Reserve may be inclined to cut interest rate in the future.
Yoon says the current housing market can be particularly challenging for people looking to buy their first home. He says potential buyers should instead look at buying a condo instead of a single-family home.
Prices have actually declined and with more inventory, and therefore for first-time buyers, condominium, more affordable homes, more options.
There is some good news for potential buyers. Yoon says sellers whose homes have sat on the market will be forced to drop the price. And there are fewer people looking to buy as summer winds down, which means less competition for buyers. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.